What is up, fellow Trojans and loyal vassals? I'm a little bit late to this particular figure review, as per the usual, because this figure was released, well, not that late. He was released last week, and I'm going to try and keep this quick, because I'll tell you this, I've tried 2 times already to review this figure, but I ended up talking past 20 minutes, and I don't think a lot of people want to hear me talk for 20 minutes. Mostly because I was really impressed with the whole articulation here, and it blew my mind away. But before I get into that, prior to this Trunks release, or this particular Trunks release where he appeared in his Saiyan armor during the Cell Saga, they released an SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Vegeta figure. Not this one, this is a premium color, but they released a Tamashii web shop Vegeta, and people had the idea to buy 2 of those figures and put the original SH Figuarts Trunks head on that body so you can have him in his Saiyan armor, which is a smart idea, but unfortunately what they ended up doing was increasing the price and the rarity of the figure already than it was already. Last time I checked, the original Tamashii web shop Vegeta was going for like 200. Last time I checked, I don't know how much it's going for now, but playing smart, I ended up selling mine for what it was going for. It may have been of a jerkish move, but I mean, the way I saw it is, I might as well use that money to buy this figure because it looks, in my opinion, this one looks prettier, and then I would use the rest to buy whatever figure I wanted. So it was a win-win for me. And to compare these figures wouldn't really be fair because this is supposed to be a spruced up version of the old version, or the old release. So obviously the paint application looks way better. Or I guess it could be debatable because the hair kind of looks like orange, but this isn't about him. I just want to show you these 2 armors together, or these 2 characters in their armors together. I will say this, that the toe on the Trunks, or the toe articulation mold, actually looks way better on the Trunks than on the Vegeta. I never even noticed that he didn't have the details like this. Also, the hinge is actually way more noticeable and a little bit uglier. Oh no, very uglier. Whereas the Trunks, it looks way cleaner. But there's that. I just want to show you that. Moving on, as far as paint application goes, he looks pretty normal, nice and clean. The only, I guess the only thing that bugs me is that if you look at the front of his hair, his bangs look like they have a nice matte finish. But on the back, it's actually a very shiny plastic, and it's very unappealing to look at, in my opinion. But then again, you're not going to be looking at the back of the hair, and this is only a nitpick on my end. The money shot is in the front. So there's that. I do have one major complaint, that being his lack of accessories. But for me, I really like the articulation in general, so that more than makes up for it. Speaking of, he has a ball joint that is on a hinge for the top of the head. Very impressive stuff. He has, I believe, a ball joint at the lower part of the neck. However, on mine it's very stiff, and I don't think it's even there. Well, I mean, it is there, but it's like very stiff. It doesn't really bother me that much because most of the movement is actually coming from the top of the head, so no skin off my bones. It only looks weird if you have it like, for some reason when I have he comes with the normal Trunks head, and for some reason having that head on this neck looks a little off in certain angles. I don't know why. Moving on, he has what I love, the ability to pop out his shoulders. Not pop out, but use the butterfly effect where you can have them arched outwards. Not by a much, but that's what we're trying to say. Not much. That's what I'm trying to say. Not much, but it is enough to get quite a bit more range of motion. And they are also on a ball joint. You can kind of see right there. That's also on a hinge. Impressive stuff. I love it. He has a cut at the bicep, and unfortunately this is going to be normally this would be a major problem, but this is technically a minor problem that's going to vary from figure to figure, where it feels relatively loose. Not the right arm in particular, but more so on the left arm. Like when I try and move it like this, it just feels like it feels like it's going to come off at any minute. So whenever I move the shoulder or the entire arm, I have to hold it at the shoulder to move it. But there's that. He has a double jointed elbow, which unfortunately it's not, he doesn't have a molded elbow. He has a molded knee, you can kind of see that, it's impressive, but he does not have a molded elbow, so it's a little sucky. A minor nitpick. He has a hinge that is on a ball joint for his wrist, and this is probably the best part about this figure, is his upper and lower part articulation, which is just impressive. I love it. I really wish most SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z figures just utilized all this whole articulation in general, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Only because I say this only because at a recent convention some time ago, a couple of months ago, they showed off future SH Figuarts releases of the Dragon Ball Z characters, and I did not see any of them aside from maybe one, and that was just the original Goku. The little kid Goku, which I can't believe they're gonna make a figure of, but he was the only character that was utilizing any new kind of articulation. But it's just, I don't know, it's my one true wish for them to all have this kind of articulation. But he has probably the most interesting looking upper and lower body articulation, where if I can kind of show you, first of all, look how far he can arch or crunch his upper body. That is impressively good without even using this part either. That's some impressive stuff, and because of that, he has a behind this plastic is actually a ball joint, and this is actually the hinge connected to that, and it's just really cool and amazing. I love that about this figure. The same can be said for the lower part of the body, where it is also on a hinge. You can kind of see the hinge right there, and it's also in a ball joint, and this whole thing is just impressive. Look at that. Golly, I love that. Put you back together. You can have this moving side to side. I mean, it looks weird like that, but I mean, you're gonna have to like play around with the joint to get it looking good in certain angles. But it's like really impressive. That's the highlight for me for this figure. And he comes with the new molded legs, where you can pull these apart. These pieces are actually separate pieces, so you can't move these with the joint. I've never actually heard a snap before on an SH Figuarts. That's a first, so I don't know if I should be worried or not. It's a little tight, but I guess that's never a bad thing. You can also move these side to side. The knees again are molded and are double jointed, and his ankles are on two ball joints, if that makes sense. You can see the ball joint right there in this part, and it's also another one in the ankle or the actual foot, so you have no problem standing in. So yeah, I absolutely love the articulation. The only thing I don't like is the lack of accessories, which I'll get into. He comes with this, the Unarm pose, which, by the way, most Dragon Ball Z characters I noticed, or villains in particular, I guess like to do this pose. You can take both his arms off and replace it with these. However, like I mentioned, this is relatively loose, and I don't want to make the joint any more loose, so I'm probably just gonna not use this for a while at least. Maybe if I'll have him posed with the arm pose for like a couple months, and then I'll switch it, but I'm not gonna be constantly switching back and forth, just because I don't want to loosen the joint. He comes with not a lot of hands, the typical Ki Blast hands, and your standard groping other Ki Blast hands, and that's about it. And for heads, where's his heads? Or his face palette swaps. For his Super Saiyan head, he comes with an angry face and a yelling face, which I like. The only thing I don't like, he doesn't come with a default looking forward Saiyan head. This is his default looking to the side head, which I don't like, because I don't like characters that just have that kind of face. And he comes with a standard Trunks head, which again is lacking a bit in this whole area in terms of shading. But I guess the front again is the money shot. So what's interesting is that he doesn't come with any other trunk face swaps, but you can have the ability to take this off for some reason. So what I'm guessing is that they expect you to already own the previous Trunks release and use the faces that he comes with and swap him out with this figure. That's what I'm guessing. Unfortunately, I cannot prove that because, well, I sold mine. But that's my only reasoning, because why else would they have the ability to take off the bangs on this, on this Trunks head? But I do like the fact that his default is looking forward. I do like that aspect about this figure. So that is pretty much everything. My own I guess, like I said, minor nitpicks are this whole looseness of the bicep. Also, I kind of wish he came with a little joint at the at the what's I'm trying to say, ponytail. So if I were to want him having looking up, I can move this slightly. But that's about it. Also, the lack of paint decals going on here. I'm sure most people are going to be complaining about the accessories, which I am too. But the articulation way more than makes up for it. It's like just, it's amazing. I love articulation when it's innovative stuff like that. It's impressive to me. That is everything. Mr. Trunks, we're going to keep this review short. Let's not go over 20 minutes like we've done the last 2 takes. Got anything else you want to say? Think we should play some Battleborn? Alright, see you guys later.